Welcome to my channel. Welcome back if this is not your first time, and welcome if this is. My name is Ashley. I am a mom of 4. I have 2 girls and 2 boys, and they range in age from 14 down to 5. So we're very busy here. We're starting off the day. This was after the girls had already gone off to school, and I was getting things ready for the boys to go to school. We live in Northeast Ohio, so it's really cold and dreary right now. So you'll kind of see this video. It's pretty dark and gloomy outside, but just gonna get their lunches packed and get everything squared away for them to head off to school. Laundry going, as always. I feel like that's kind of an all-day event for me, especially also today whenever I'm doing this voiceover. I've got tons of laundry to do. I have a load going right now, and it's just going to be all day long. This was a hole in the wall that I needed to repair because Graham came home from school and was just excited to be home, I guess, and kind of like kicked the door open, and the door that goes out into the garage banged into the wall in the mudroom. So got that fixed. I'll have to go over it with some paint, but not a big deal. You can see the piles and piles of laundry that I had going on that day. So if you guys are not new here, you know that I always like hang everything pretty much that is gonna ultimately get on a hanger. I just hang it up to dry straight out of the washer. So I had lots of clothes that were dry here that needed to be put in the bedrooms, and then the clothes that was coming out that needed to get hung up. this was before Foster got home from school, and I took a little bit of time here to try to edit a YouTube video that had gone up the other day. So I have about 3 hours in the morning without any kids here, and I try to do, if I'm going to do anything where I'm just like sitting on my iPad, I always try to do that before the kids get back home from school. definitely feel like the laundry was never ending this day, especially now, like looking back on this footage. I'm like, man, I did a lot of laundry that day. And like I said, I have the same situation happening again. I don't know what's going on. I think a lot of it is the kids are going outside. They're playing in the snow. Right now we have probably 3 inches of snow on the ground. But on Friday, today's Tuesday, on Friday, it snowed a ton. So we had, I think, like 7 inches at one point, and they played outside all weekend on their sleds, and they have a little snowboard. So I think that it was a lot of like clothes getting soaking wet, changing, and yeah, I need to wash all the snow stuff too because it's been wet in the garage for a couple days. So kind of gross. So yeah, we're gonna get this laundry just hung and put in the washer and just keep on going with it because that's the only thing you can do, right? So I just put in the towels. One thing I always do when I wash towels or bedding is put in a full thing, like where it says softener, I put in up to the top of some vinegar. This is cleaning vinegar, which is great, but any vinegar will do. I've even used apple cider vinegar before when I didn't have any of this. So I think it helps with like if it has a mildew kind of smell. Ours don't. They're relatively new. I think we bought new towels like when we moved here, so they do not have a smell, but the vinegar helps with that if they do. So I always wash them on sanitize. So this is going to be like the last load of the day, probably. I mean, you can say I still have another load of laundry, but I know I'm getting ready to get Foster and lay him down, so like it's fine that this is gonna run for, actually I always turn it up to heavy soil because then it'll do the like washing portion longer. So I turn that up as high as it'll go, and then sanitize does it as hot as it will go to. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that started and then go get Foss. I was so excited to open up these vacuum attachments. I cannot believe I just said that sentence, but that's me. So this one that I'm holding is for hardwood floors, and then that other thing that's like the cylinder there, that's just the attachment that'll make it more like a universal fit for Dyson or Shark or whatever vacuum you have. And then those other two I'm going to use mainly for our trim. So I got that opened up, and then Foster got home from school. This is always one of the highlights of my day, is hearing him tell me about everything that happened at school. Obviously, the first thing we do is use hand sanitizer because it's the middle of winter and I'm deathly afraid of my kids getting like the stomach bug. So we try to sanitize as much as we possibly can, but get his backpack unloaded, get his lunchbox unloaded, and then I'm gonna get him ready for his nap. This was filmed after his nap, and I was so excited to use these and to see how they worked. I feel like the suction on this Shark vacuum is definitely better than my Dyson. To be honest with you, I don't know that I would really purchase a Dyson because we've had probably 3 or 4, and just they only last for so long, and they kind of just lose suction or lose their battery life. So, and they're just very expensive for that to happen. I've never tried the Tenneco. I know lots of people have that, and I'm gonna try that next because it seems like a really affordable option. But OMG, look at this horsehair brush on this black trim. Like, this was so satisfying. I thought my house was clean until I got the horsehair attachment. So definitely would recommend these. It worked just fine. I had to use that universal attachment thing, but it came with it. And then I went ahead and sprayed the bottom part of the kitchen island. It's painted like a dark, it's basically just a black, and it kind of just shows like every little thing. So I have to clean this pretty often, although my kids don't really eat at the island as much as I thought that they would. But yeah, so I needed to get that all sprayed down and cleaned up. Time to get dinner going. You guys that saw my last video, you might remember I made a little like turkey breast. So this was the next day, and I went ahead and heated up that the rest of it, the leftovers, and then I was gonna just do like pasta for the kids and spaghetti squash for Brian and me. And honestly, the kids like spaghetti squash too. This one was just so small that I was like, they'll just eat regular pasta. When I make my spaghetti squash, I just cut it in half and put some olive oil, salt, and pepper on it. I do microwave it first for about 4 to 5 minutes. And yeah, this is a real life here, real life moment, having some wine. But anyway, I microwave it first just to soften it a little bit so it's not as hard to cut in half. And then cut it in half. I put the olive oil, salt, and pepper. I place it face down on a cookie sheet, and then I bake it at about 400 degrees for maybe 25 minutes. It's kind of one of those things where you have to watch it and just kind of like check. I just kind of know by feel like what it should feel like. It should definitely give when you like squeeze it, but you don't want it to just over bake because it then becomes like mush. So I made the noodles in this other pot, and then these 2 pots we had some, both of these are just jarred sauce. I love the Rayo's brand. So we had marinara sauce and we had Alfredo sauce, and the kids love it. This is like one of our favorite meals. I made 2 cans of green beans, and everything was pretty much just open a can and throw it on the stove, but that worked really well for us. And I was getting ready to do a little bit of homework with Graham and then get dinner on the table. Are still watching, I'm so happy that you're here. So I'm going to share with you guys like a little hack that I do occasionally. My kids love to go out to eat. Like, even if the food is arguably like not better than what I'm making at home, if it's out to eat or fast food, they just like think it's such a treat. So sometimes what I do is, like, as you can see, I have this Olive Garden over here. I went and got Olive Garden breadsticks. I spent, I think, $7 maybe on a dozen breadsticks, and it just elevated the meal in a way that, like, I can't even tell you. They really felt like it was something so special. And otherwise, it was a pretty inexpensive, easy meal, but they really felt like their favorite thing from Olive Garden is the breadsticks. So I can go ahead and make the pasta at home. They don't care about that. They just want those breadsticks. So I thought, I'm just going to go and get those and make them feel like we have something special here, but really it's just a regular night at home. So I always try to load as many of the dishes as I possibly can while dinner's on the stove. I mean, I'm already up and I'm kind of running around anyway, helping the kids and helping Graham with his homework, doing, checking on the sauces and all that. So I try to just multitask as much as I can, because when I am up and I am working on things, I'm working hard. And when I am down and I am relaxing, I'm relaxing hard. I don't want to have to sit down and then get back up and deal with it and, deal with cleaning up the kitchen and stuff. I just want to try to do it all at once, if that makes sense. And then whenever it's time to shut down the kitchen, put the kids to bed, and drink some hot tea, watch some Yellowstone, I want to just be able to do that and know that all the other work is done, and I'm going to be able to wake up to a clean house, clean kitchen. That is ideal. Does it always happen? Definitely not. But I try to just utilize every second that I can when I have it. So you can kind of see this was the overview of dinner. Nothing too fancy, but there's our spaghetti squash and our pasta, green beans. The kids love green beans. They're just canned, but whatever. At least it's a vegetable. And then the rest of that turkey, and of course our Olive Garden breadsticks. right, I got my last dish clean. My dishwasher is running. I'm going to take out this trash and wipe down the sink, just get the kitchen totally ready to go for the next day. And then I wanted to do a little bit more laundry. Well, let me amend that. I did not want to do anything at this point, but I knew that I would feel so much better if I just got a little bit more done. I was pushing myself for sure. I think that the weather and just I'm really missing the Florida weather for sure. Ohio is cold and dreary. I think we get something like 60 days of sunshine a year based on some kind of infographic that my father-in-law sent me, but it's depressing. It really is. And I know seasonal affective disorder is a real thing, and I'm not making light of that. I don't think that that is going on with me. You know, thank God I'm able to like combat that with in other ways, but it's tough. And I'm very aware of the fact that like being inside all the time is not good. So I do try to get out, especially if it's sunny at all. I try to take advantage of any little bit of sun that we have. But all this to say, I was dragging, I was tired, it was raining and cold, and I just was pushing myself, and I was really happy that I did it the next day. So the video is almost done because the evening was almost done, and I don't think you want me to set up a camera and, you know, show you guys me sitting on my butt for the next hour and drinking tea and watching TV. But I just wanted to tell you, thank you all again so much for being here. Thank you for clicking on my video and for sticking around. And if you're subscribed, thank you for being here. I am noticing like the people who are commenting, the same people sometimes are commenting on every video, and it like just really makes me so happy. I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm recognizing your names, and I feel like we're really creating like an awesome community of people here. So again, thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye.